All right, let's talk about something real. You're an absolute expert at what you do, right? But your business just isn't growing the way you dreamed it would. If that sounds familiar, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to break down this simple, powerful shift that can take you from just surviving to actually thriving. So, let's dive right in.
You know, this is the question that probably keeps you up at night. You're brilliant at your craft, your service is top-notch, so what gives? Why isn't the business taking off like it should?
Okay, here's the tough part. Being amazing at what you do, that doesn't automatically make you a successful business owner. It's just not the same skill set. I mean, think about this. There was a medical startup with a life-saving device that went under. Not because the product was bad, it was brilliant. It failed because the company was managed poorly. That just proves it, right? A great product is not the whole story.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at why so many businesses get stuck. Then, we'll dive into the 3 big pitfalls. After that, we'll get to the good stuff, the simple secret to success, and the high-jump strategies you can actually use. And finally, we'll wrap up with how to take your business higher.
All right, let's start with the big one. I call it the survival trap. You might know this place. It's where you're just living day to day, barely keeping your head above water. And this whole trap starts with one single, flawed idea. I think a lot of us fall for this. We think, hey, I'm great at what I do, so of course clients will just flock to me. But then reality hits, right? And you find out it's just not that simple. For most small businesses, the day-to-day isn't about exciting growth, it's just a constant battle to stay afloat. So, the question is, why do we get stuck in this trap? Well, it usually boils down to 3 really common pitfalls. These are the things that slam the brakes on our growth and keep us running on that hamster wheel.
Okay, here are the big 3. Number 1, no clear goals. Number 2, a lack of discipline. And number 3, and this one's a biggie, tying your self-worth to your results. Let's break each of these down.
So first up, no clear goals. I love this analogy. It's like getting in your car and just driving. No GPS, no destination in mind. You're burning gas, you're definitely moving, but you're just going in circles. Your business ends up just reacting to whatever happens that day instead of you being in the driver's seat, building towards something specific. It's just endless ups and downs with no real forward motion.
Okay, pitfall number 2, lack of discipline. And oh man, this one is going to feel familiar. Think about every time you've started a diet. You're all in for what? 3 weeks. And then one crisis hits, a bad day at work, a party, and you're done. You quit. It's the exact same thing with marketing in a small business. People try something for a little while, they don't see a flood of new clients overnight, and they just throw their hands up and say, see, it doesn't work. So you can see how these 3 things create this vicious cycle, right? You're just stuck surviving. But here's the good news, and I really want you to hear this. Breaking that cycle is not some huge, complicated thing. The answer is actually way, way simpler than you think. It's all about one small but powerful shift in where you put your focus. It's time to make what we call the high jump. This really captures the core idea perfectly. The most sophisticated, the most effective way to succeed in business is actually simplicity. Isn't that something? We love to overcomplicate things, but real sustainable growth, it comes from mastering the fundamentals and just doing them, day in and day out. And this whole idea, it starts with a new definition of excellence. Look, excellence is not a perfect result. It's not one amazing, profitable month. No. True excellence is the process. It's this ongoing cycle of taking action, seeing what happens, tweaking your approach, course correcting, and then going again. It's about always being in motion, always refining. Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we put this idea of simplicity and action into practice? Well, let's get into the high jump strategies. This is your practical toolkit for growth. This is probably the most important distinction you can make. You've got to split your goals into 2 buckets. On one side, you have result goals. That's the destination, like make more money. But on the other side, you have action goals. Those are the actual steps you take to get there, like publish 2 posts a week. One is an outcome you can't really control, and the other is a process you absolutely can. Let's just be brutally honest for a second. How much control do you really have over those big results? You know, the economy, what your competitors are doing, whether a client says yes or no in the end. When you really truly think about it, the answer is 0. You have 0 direct control over any of that stuff. But what about your actions, the effort you put in, the number of calls you make, the content you create? You have 100% total control over that.
That is where your power lies. And I'm telling you, the moment you shift your focus away from the stuff you have zero control over and pour all that energy into the things you have total control over, that is the single biggest game changer for your business. Period.
And this focus on action, it totally solves that third pitfall, the one about tying your self-worth to your results. Because when you build your confidence on things you can control, your self-esteem becomes bulletproof. How do you do it? You start expressing your professional opinion with confidence. You focus on getting things done, not getting them perfect. You keep learning and improving. And you set firm boundaries. Yeah, like charging for no-shows. Suddenly, your confidence comes from your effort, which you control, not the results, which you don't.
Now, a lot of these actions we're talking about fall under a word that makes a lot of people kind of nervous, and that word is marketing. But let's just take all the weirdness out of it. It's not some complicated, sleazy, dark art. At its heart, marketing just means increasing demand. That's it. It's about building trust and getting more people interested in the amazing value you provide.
And check this out. This is where it gets really fascinating. Before a new client ever actually experiences your incredible service, they can't judge how good it is, right? They have no idea. So what are they judging? They're judging you, your communication, your energy, your authenticity. Get this, a staggering 90% of your initial marketing success comes from that human connection, not the actual product.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. Let's talk about how you can take this and start moving your business to the next level, like right now.
It really all comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. Focus on what you can control. You can't control the economy, but you can control your plan. You can't make a client say yes, but you can control how you communicate your value. The real secret to growth is just relentlessly, obsessively pouring your energy into that in your control column.
And when you do that, everything changes. You're not just tweaking things, you're shifting your entire mindset. You stop being reactive, just trying to survive the chaos of the day, and you become proactive. You start building, you start growing, and you finally, truly start to thrive.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Just for a minute, forget about the big, scary, uncontrollable outcomes. I want you to ask yourself, what is one action, just one, that you can take this week that is 100% in your control? Think about it, define it, and then go do it. That's where it all begins.